Welcome, everybody, to episode 78 of the Holochronicles podcast. One of us went to a toy show this weekend. The other was a loser. What's up, Josh?
Wow.
Hey.
Welcome into the Holochronicles Couch Edition.
Yeah, new set. Who dis?
New set. This isn't even a set. This is us moving around the room.
Yeah, well, we're prepping for bigger things.
We are. We're trying.
Welcome to everybody watching us live and to the eventual ones that catch us on the rewind or on our audio platforms. The state of Washington has opened up enough to start having events like toy shows. And this weekend, I went to the Washington Toy Show in Puyallup, Washington, home of the Washington State Fair.
Puyallup.
Just outside of Tacoma.
Yeah.
For those Washington challenged.
If you're ever tired of cool cities, head on up to Tacoma / Puyallup.
Somewhere.
It's where Seattle takes poops.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just kidding.
Wait,
so is Longview for that, man.
We do have Tacoma people.
I know.
that
We love
watch
you,
us.
Tacoma.
Yeah, that's where Shannon's from.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, Josh, the toy show. Well, first of all, let me start by saying this was kind of a last minute deal. Then I took one of my kids to, and thankfully things have opened up enough to have things like this again. All of the vendors there were super excited to be there because they hadn't been able to do things, at least in the state of Washington, for at least a year and a half. And so this was nice. It was nice to finally get back out there a little bit, to see people again, to sell some merchandise, to buy some merchandise. And I will periodically bring out some things that I purchased over that Friday evening that I spent up there. But Josh, I wanted to ask you, and I put a poll up last week that said, let's say I gave you $1,000. Okay, just
all right.
Straight,
I say yes.
Straight cash, homie.
Just from the poll already, yes.
Okay. Are you and I said you got to spend it on your Star Wars collection. Are you the type of person that will look for $1,000 item to buy one thing? Are you the type of person that might buy a handful of moderately priced items? Or are you going to try and get as many things as you can with that $1,000? And again, this is all hypothetical, but and I know everyone's got different reasons for why they would pick what they pick, but what would you pick?
Option 2. I'd get some moderately priced items.
Like four or five,
yeah.
$200 items, something like that?
With the intent, I would go in with that intent. You know, let's say we went to, I don't know, we went to a toy show or something with $1,000. But I came across that $1,000 item that was like, whoa. I might bookmark that, walk around some more, and just see if there were 4 or 5 items that just made me go, whoa, like that one item did. And then make the decision at that time.
Okay.
But I wouldn't bulk up. I wouldn't just go like, how many $5 items can I get? You know, obviously that's math. It's like 20 or something. Yes. 200. Sorry, I was joking.
So for me, I would look for one expensive item because for me, the opportunity to have a grand just to blow on something or many things doesn't come up. So I'm going to get the biggest bang for my dollar. And it's funny, the poll results, this is over 100 people, 25%, so a fourth of the people said they'd get one item. They'd go for that big ticket item.
That's interesting. And that's, I guess that's what I kind of said, but.
Now, 54% said what you said.
Yeah.
Like a handful of moderately priced items in the, like we'll say $150 to $300 range. That's what I would call moderate in this example.
Yeah.
And then the remaining 21% said as many things as I could. And that would be more like filling out the holes in your Black Series collection.
Yeah.
You know, maybe grabbing some loose Star Wars figures to bulk up your run, you know, of your vintage run.
I think that comes down to some of the collector tips, right? If you've got that list, if you've got that plan, you might be in a different space depending on when Andy hands you $1,000.
Yes. When am I gonna?
You just got to be ready for the Andy $1,000
Yeah,
day.
you just never know. That's why you need to be a Patreon member. No,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. By the way, we have a Patreon
We do.
at Patreon/Beyond the Blast Doors.
You can support our
Yeah.
show and others like the Bombadcast and Beyond the Blast Doors Live.
For one cheeseburger a month.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
One cheeseburger.
So I like that. I like that question.
Yeah.
Like that. I am still trying to get used to this dynamic. Not get rid of this dynamic, but get used to
Get rid of
the
this.
me and you next to each other is
Yeah.
it's tripping me out right now.
It's
So
weird.
I'm a little clunky.
Just gotta, when you talk to me, you gotta look.
That's
right
right, Andy.
there. Yeah. So let me ask you guys listening within earshot of our voice, if you were given that opportunity and said, "Hey, here's $1,000 to spend on your collection," how are you gonna spend it? With one big ticket item, with 3, 4, or 5 items to fill out that $1,000, or with as many small to just bulk up and get as many items as you can?
We got
So-
Keith. We got our friend Keith in the house right now.
Keith's here?
Yeah, yeah, and he's with me.
Oh,
So
okay.
he likes a moderate.
That's all right.
Scuba Pete's pulling out a high dollar. He pulled the trigger on a $10 mini rig. Good for you.
That a baby. Now
yeah.
here's where you can blow it all in one spot.
Right.
The adage is out the window. Don't blow it all in one spot. Well, actually, Scuba Pete, you can blow it all in one spot if you want to. No one's gonna browbeat you.
Right.
Looking at you, wives.
That's right. That's right.
Spouses.
So is that what you did at this show? I mean, I don't know where we're going today. I feel
Well-
so relaxed on this couch.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Not exactly. This was the first time I'd ever attended this toy show, so I didn't have any expectations. It seemed like after taking a lap through everything, there were moderately priced items, and then the big ticket items were a couple $1,000s. $4,000. There was some. There was a. Since we are a Star Wars collectible show, there was an unopened early bird set. So that was going for like $5 or $6 grand. And I'd never been that close to one before. And I knew that inside there was a double telescoping Luke Skywalker.
Ooh, did you smell it?
It was behind the glass. So
yeah.
I would have just smelled the glass. Yeah. So what I ended up doing, theoretically, if I had $1,000 to spend, I did what you said. I bought a few moderately priced items and a couple of cheapies too. So, would you like to see one of them?
Of course we would, Andy. Come on. That's why we're here. We're here for you to show off the crap that you got at that.
All right. I'll get this close to the camera here, but I'll read what it is. These are called bust ups, and they're made by Gentle Giant. Gentle Giant is known for making non-posable, like statuettes of figures, like my Rogue One Death Trooper. And
yes.
And they're also known for making busts, character busts, from the waist up. These are mini versions of the bust. They're called bust ups. The arms and accessories come apart. You can take them out and swap them around. And these happen to be bust ups of the Genndy Tartakovsky Clone Wars figures. Specifically, Sais Tien and the Clone Trooper Army. Let me get...
Easy for you to say.
Yeah. That's not going to zoom in.
Nah. And I have no control over here. And I mean, we'll put some pics up. You can see it.
We'll post some pics. Anyway, trust me, it looks cool. But I didn't. I had seen bust ups before, but I didn't know that Gentle Giant was the one that makes them. And Gentle Giant is a reputable company, so
They make some good stuff.
they do.
Like,
It's fun stuff.
the busts are fun. I'm not the biggest bust guy, but after grabbing a Porkins, it's all downhill from there, man.
You do have a nice Porkins bust. He has a nice bust.
Sorry, I'm doing stuff. Here, I was going to put your little poll if this is the right one. That's what I was tuning out for. Let's see if this is the right one. Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
Comes right between us. And there you go. There's your proof. 54%. A moderate amount.
A moderate amount.
We're on top of stuff tonight. That was only 3 minutes late. All right. What else do you got, buddy?
Well, this would be considered, well, that was a 20. That cost me 20. So, and then these were $5. They're VHS cassettes of one of droids and one of Ewoks.
That's pretty cool.
Animated.
How do you feel about
cartoons.
that? Since at least droids on the
Ewoks
Disney
is on
Plus?
Disney
Just
Plus.
the Ewoks.
Yep.
Yeah.
I tried watching them. The other day.
You tried watching them on Disney or through this
on Disney
actual-
Plus.
Yeah. How'd it go?
The Ewoks. I was watching it with Tova, my 5-year-old, and neither of us could get very far into them. They're not that good.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't held a cassette of a VHS in a long time.
Yeah, man.
Do you know there's an FBI warning on here? Holy crap.
Yeah, you don't want to get caught.
Oh, but guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, Ewoks, Star Wars Ewoks, not rated. I get it. Probably should have watched a little longer. Sorry.
Well, for those who haven't gotten Disney Plus, this is not something you're missing.
This is not part of your $10 a month.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's this toy show was funny because when you walk in, they give you this huge bag. So the picture on our thumbnail for the show is the actual bag that I was given, and it's like a tote bag, but it's 3.5, 4 feet long with a big shoulder strap on it, so you know, not too subliminally messaged, hey, buy a lot of stuff. And then my son got one too. So we were both cruising around with what I like to call sleeping bags with a shoulder strap. And so it was funny. That made me laugh. It's like, okay, I see what's going on here, Washington Toy Show. But the guest for the evening that was signing autographs and taking pictures, Josh?
Yeah?
None other than WWF and G.I. Joe crossover, Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah. And he looks exactly like he did in the 80s. He's still, still got a good physique on
Still
him.
ripped?
He wore that big, broad...
Smokey the Bear hat.
Smokey the Bear hat, drill sergeant hat, and had the mirrored shades. And he looked like, he could rip the ears off a Gundark. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And so Zane and I walked by, and I saw him, and a big smile on my face because
Well, we grew up with that, right?
That's and I had the both Sergeant Slaughter figures from G.I. Joe, and so I gave him a little one of these, and he gave me one of these. So that was, for me, that was just as good as an autograph or a picture.
Yeah, that's a head nod that says, you didn't pay me.
Yeah. It's like, get your ass over here. So Zane didn't know who it was, but he's like, who's that? And I'm like, just one of Daddy's heroes when he was a kid. And I was like, cool. Josh, picture the Rose City Comic-Con. What we've been to a couple times.
Yep.
But only toy vendors. Okay?
Yeah.
Only toys. It was absolutely amazing. I've never seen in one place, and granted, I'll say this with a caveat, I haven't been to too many toy events like this, but I'd never been to a place where there was so many vintage and current Legos, Star Wars, Transformers, G.I. Joes, Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica, My Little Pony, Cabbage Patch. I mean,
Garbage Pail Kids.
there were Garbage Pail cards. Yeah, there was a guy that was doing all sorts of cards. There was a number of comic book, tons of Funkos. Everybody had Funkos somewhere at their booths. It was awesome. So my son and I went for this 2-hour window, 7 to 9, and we went through the entire place, and it felt like we had the place to ourselves because there was limited tickets for Friday night, plus limited for COVID purposes as well. But it felt like we had the place to ourselves, and we went and walked through the entire thing, and we barely spoke to each other in a 2-hour stretch.
That's the best way to hang out with your kids.
I know you're joking, Josh,
I know,
but it was awesome. Like, so full disclosure, he's my stepson, and there were 3 different times in that 2-hour span where he just goes, "Man, thanks for bringing me, Daddy."
Oh,
Andy.
that's so cool.
And he's like, "This is so
cool.
cool." And he's 8. He's a second grader. And I knew, first of all, I knew he'd love it just because, I mean, what kid wouldn't love to just go see a warehouse full of toys and then buy a few? And so, he was like, "Man, this is fun. Thanks for bringing me." And it made it all worth it. And,
Hell yeah.
And then that justified my spendings to my wife.
Sure.
And
You're like, look, you're bonding.
yeah. And then he was quick to say, "Hey, Mom, we're going to go do another one of these this summer," because he heard me talking with another guy about SummerCon. So anyway, it was great. If as things open up, or maybe they are opened up where you live, or things begin to start opening up, get out there. Everybody will be happy to see you.
Yeah.
And that
And you're supporting local collectors, really.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it sounds like.
Yeah, there was a local artist there who is somebody we have mentioned on the show a handful of times over the last couple years, he is my favorite Star Wars artist. His name is Jason W. Christman. He's on Twitter a little bit, off and on. He's not a regular, but he has a website, jasonwchristman.com, and he does minimalist art. And I have a number of his pieces of art, and I can't speak highly enough about it. Plus, on top of that, too, well, he's from Portland, so he doesn't live that far away. And that was purely coincidental when we found that out. That just made us more over the moon about him. But he's a super guy. And we're going to have him on the show because I talked to him for about 20 minutes. Yeah. Oh, I love those.
He's just got the coolest, cleanest.
Yeah, he's got the speeder series. So the land speeder, air speeder, and the speeder bike.
Oh, I haven't been to the site in a while. I need to click in. Look at that. This is what I love. Is this kind of? That's
so
good.
all of his stuff is licensed through Lucasfilm. Now that Cantina piece, I happen to have that one. I bought it 2 years ago, and it's awesome. Absolutely love it. He does. It's minimalist art, but he does this really cool thing with light, like wherever there's light in the pictures that he does, it's very well done. It's very cool. It's like the Thomas Kincaid, but for Star Wars.
Well, I'd say it's better, but yes.
Yeah. But anyway, I love this guy. I love talking with him. We're gonna have him on the show, and he was like, "Hey, oh yeah, I remember you guys. You do a podcast, right?" And we're like, "Yeah." And he goes, and then he just writes down his phone number, and he says, "I'd love to come on and talk Star Wars with you."
Hell yeah.
And I was like,
maybe we shouldn't give too much of his site away so he can have something to talk about because, but I had to get to this piece, and that's the piece. Like, that's the foundation, right? And then, of course, you went.
Well,
he's got a bounty hunters.
He's got a bounty hunters one that's really awesome. Yeah. This was for Celebration Chicago, I think. I think that was a licensed piece for Celebration Chicago.
Ramey's got a 177.
Oh, really?
250.
Awesome, Framey. That's so good. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if mine is a number because there was a. Ooh, I don't want to.
Yep. No worries. We'll have to have him on and find out.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. But yes, Framey, that is, I have the same one, and it is incredible. And he's just a really good dude on top of that. But I bought two things, and I brought one with.
Okay.
He's got a couple of bookmarks, and these he just threw in for me, which was awesome. But one of the bookmarks is of that piece that we just put up.
It's the same one. Sorry, I was just throwing it up there.
And then like a imperial panel, wall panel. That's not very good.
Death Star wall panel. Yeah.
Death Star wall panel. So those were cool, but that wasn't what I bought. What I bought were his metallic. He has a metallic card set, and they have. I'll put some pictures up.
I
on
remember
Twitter.
seeing these at the Rose City Comic Con. Why did we not buy them then?
I don't know.
I remember like leaving and actually thinking back as to.
Oh, he's got a new one. But I can't remember. I might have even sent one to Framey, but they're metal cards. Again, all of his minimalist eye. And Topps was supposed to pick them up. And they were going to do something with them, put like a, you know how there's like a special card in every pack? They were going to do a metal one of these, and he thought he had the deal all lined up, and then, and we'll let him talk about this too if you're a card collector, because he's got some insight to how that kind of works. Long story short, it didn't end up happening, but then thought he was going to be able to do them digitally. And then again, it didn't end up happening because the people that he was talking to were only there for a short time, and then they moved on, and then new people came, and they could just never get something hammered out, which is to say it still could happen. But I got a metal card set, and I'll post some pictures of these because they're very, very cool too. Yeah, did you?
Working on it.
Okay.
Keep talking.
So anyway, I wish I could show you these. These were very, very cool. Very happy I got them. You have the case.
Yep.
Let's put these back. You'll have to, people that are watching in the chat, you'll have to forgive us with this new set. We're not quite as Johnny on the spot with the comments.
We aren't.
But that doesn't mean we're not paying attention. I got you. I got you. Oh, yes. Yeah, maybe we'll post some pictures to the Patreon too.
Yeah, we'll throw those up there. Yep.
What else from the show? Okay. With so many things to look at, you know, at least I feel like I was smart enough to take a preliminary lap around everything and bookmark some things in my head to come back to. Our toy review for the night is going to be the big purchase that I made. I did make one big purchase. And when I say one big purchase, there were three things, but I did a good collector thing, and I bundled. There were three items. All of three were listed at $300 a piece. Okay? And they're awesome. One I really, really liked. And so I'm talking with the guy at the booth, and I said, you know, I really like that one. And he says, well, I could go $250 for that one. And I said, okay, you know, that's a good price. Let me think about it, and I'll come back, because I wasn't all the way done with my lap around the place. So I finished my lap, and I came back, and we were only there 2 hours, so it was right before I left. I came back to that booth, and I said, hey, I've still been thinking about this item, and here's the deal. I'll do the one thing for $250 because that's a fair price. But if you want to sell me all three of them for $200 each, I'll do it.
Just wheeling and dealing.
I mean, I knew I was going to walk away with one thing at a price that I was comfortable with, but I took a shot. You know, it never hurts to try. And looking back, I made the right decision
You did.
because he thought about it for probably 3 or 4 minutes, and he kind of walked away and then came back. And I was just, looking at his stuff at his booth, and then he said, "Okay, I'll do it." So it's that idea as a seller. Well, I could get $600 now, guaranteed, or I could wait for Saturday and Sunday and maybe
Right.
get a little bit more, or not sell them at all. Maybe nobody will buy them. And so
It could have been that $600 made his weekend right then.
Right.
And then he gets to relax for
yeah.
the next 2 days, as far as.
And Josh, I want you to pull up a picture of the helmets, because this guy also had this rack of helmets that a couple of them were 3D printed, a couple of them were fiberglass, and yeah.
Give me just a minute. You keep talking.
And I almost spent my money on the helmets, because we've been into helmets a little bit lately, you and I. But no regrets. And I also got his card in case I wanted to call him up later on.
No regrets.
No regrets. So this was a temptation for me that I kind of had to decide which way I was going to go. I ended up going the direction where I spent a bit more money, but still within the boundaries of what I had budgeted, so I didn't feel bad about it.
$1,000.
1,000. Okay, so this guy's helmet rack, and you can see clones, which is my sweet spot. You can see a Mandalorian. There's a Death Trooper. There's Captain Commander Gree, and the Gree was the one that was the one that really, because it was fiberglass. It was heavy. It was sturdy. It's freaking awesome. I might call him.
You might call it. Well, what if you sold him? What if you sold him?
Well, I hope
the
he did.
prices
I
aren't
hope he
bad.
did.
How much was the Gree?
The Gree was 200.
This is what I'm talking about. So we have this is what I'm thinking and now talking about. But we have this guy, which we showed off last week,
Right, the Black Series,
the Black Series, and you're getting a
mostly plastic.
a unique, toy right here is what it is. It's a Hasbro toy, right?
Right.
But it's so well done that you feel like you're getting your money's worth. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. You really feel like you're getting your money's worth at $100 to $130. And then to pick up a prop custom, you do have to balance like the price. I always think that a prop custom that's within $200 is worth the price.
Yeah, it was well made. If it would have been like a 3D print, I haven't seen 3D prints hold up or look as good as a fiberglass helmet.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, that's not to say I would never buy one, because the top helmet, I think it was the Commander Fox helmet there, that was 3D printed and hand painted, and you could tell, but it still looked really good. Like that was, and that one was only like 140. So
Well, listen, it sounds like he was pricing them for the build, which is good.
yeah. So anyway, the Gree was, that's the one thing that I still think about, like, maybe should have got that. But then I would have had to give something up, and I wasn't ready to do that. But this is just an example. This is one guy's stand. He had quite a variety of things there. And then he also had the other clone trooper picture that I posted up. But
some of them weren't just by how, but I can take care of it. So keep talking.
okay. But anyway, my son was that right there. My son was very patient with me, but he got to grab some things along the way too. So I was thankful that, that there really was something for him. He ended up buying a Halo figure.
Oh yeah,
From
he's into Halo, huh?
yeah. What's the one Halo the video game that's kind of a departure from the other ones? Reach. Yeah. So it was a figure from Halo Reach, and which is cool. And because I like the Halo stuff too. I was high-fiving him for getting that because it was a pretty cool figure. And then he got a Chewbacca mask, like a half face Chewbacca mask that makes authentic noises. He got it for his dad, which cracked me up. So, oh, okay. So this right here, do you know what that is, Josh?
It's a clone trooper.
Yeah, stepping over a clone trooper's corpse
Yep.
in the heat of battle.
Okay.
This is a Force Unleashed clone trooper.
Oh, okay.
So you have a Boba Fett.
I do.
Force
Which
Unleashed.
I love. Oh, you're talking about the Unleashed series.
Yeah, not
see.
Force Unleashed. That's the video game.
I see.
So
I see.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this was this was out of the box and everything. So
Which are always awesome. Like they have like the Chewie with his hair looks like it's just being blown in a hurricane. And he's screaming.
Yeah.
And then Boba Fett's blasting out of the Sarlacc pit.
all of them are awesome.
Little bit of edginess from a toy perspective, meaning like right here you've
Yeah.
got the corpse of another clone trooper, and this guy's
Just stepping
jumping
over them.
Those are just a fantastic series. I feel like
There'd be a good line to get
they would be a good line to
because
kinda
there's
follow.
there's like maybe 20.
Yeah.
Some of them are pretty spendy now though. Do you guys listening? Do you guys have any of those? They're pretty cool. What would be awesome?
Unleashed Force. Yeah,
It's just
JD,
Unleashed?
It's just Unleashed.
Okay, it's just
Force,
Unleashed.
You got me on Force, but yes, it's just Unleashed.
What would be cool is if on Twitter you guys posted your Unleashed figures,
Well,
whether
JD's got one.
whether
he
they're-
has the one you just posted.
whether they're in or out of the package, and then tag us. That would be sweet. I'd love to see them because there's more than I am aware of.
sure.
Like I can only think of about 5 or 6.
I think a Holochronicles like homework challenge would be to kind of tackle the Unleashed series a little bit, especially since I've got one. I actually had 3, and that was before I was really focused on displaying my collection, and it kind of got. I lost parts to it, I had the Chewbacca and I had Luke. Isn't it Luke? He's got the saber and he's running over.
Right.
That's not a Black series. That's an Unleashed. So it's a little more. It's always a little more violent. I think that's where the Unleashed came from, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna push pause on the tease for my big purchase
Okay.
because we have a new bit to get to tonight.
We have a bit. Oh yeah, we do. We have the bit.
We have the best.
I'm
bit.
excited for this.
Yeah.
And this is something I think we've kind of kept it under wraps pretty well.
Yeah. Until it was announced today on his Twitter handle.
Yes.
Our friend
looky,
Jaxxon.
there he is. He's
Our
in
friend Jaxxon, friend of the program,
Again, he's so excited to get that.
friend of the network.
Now hold on. Before we get to this bit, I want to make sure that we're ready. Yes, got it. Okay. Sorry, you got me. You got us. Okay.
Are you
Right,
ready?
get out of here. We got to introduce you. You're spoiling it. Jeez. There we go. Yeah. Without further ado, this bit.
Well, here's what it is.
Okay.
You and I are not real versed in this area of Star Wars
Right.
collecting.
Right.
So
We brought in an expert.
we brought in an expert who's Jaxxon, spoiler.
Spoiler.
And
Watch here. I'll pull a Jaxxon. Spoiler. There we go.
and we are going to listen to this as not experts in this field ourselves. We are listening to learn as well. And Jackson's expertise is in comic books. Okay? Star Wars comics, of which you and I have never really gotten into. I had a few at one time, but I got rid of them just because they haven't been my jam. I appreciate them, but I don't know much about them.
I love them, and I love hearing about them. I love them like romantically from a distance. I don't partake in them, but when I see them, I'm just like, oh, that's so cool. But anyway, so
Like you're a freshman in high school and you're checking out the senior cheerleader,
Sure.
that kind of thing.
Sure, no,
Like
yeah,
it's just
You
so
got it.
far out
you
of
got
reach.
it. The only problem, the only issue I have with this entire segment
Okay.
is that the intro is better than ours.
Yeah, it's got a great
Here we
name.
go.
It's got a great name and everything. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Ladies and gentlemen, here it comes.
Is there anybody named Jaxxon around?
The stuff of legend.
Oh wow! Oh, you guys can hang out.
oh, okay.
No, I was like, ladies and gentlemen, Jaxxon. and
then-
we're going to take a Jaxxon 5 right now. 5 minutes with Jaxxon as he tells us all about
Whatever
Jackson?
you're going to tell us
Tell
about.
us about
Jackson,
it.
you have the floor.
Well, tonight for my first segment, I wanted to start off with something actually that's comic adjacent and something that might interest you, Andy.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to pull a little bit of a Estelle Getty from Golden Girls. Picture it. July 1976
Oh, beautiful.
at the El Cortez Hotel in beautiful, gorgeous, and wonderful San Diego. The San Diego Comic Convention, San Diego Comic-Con, is expecting. Yes.
I know where you're going with this.
Okay, is expecting you son of a bitch, is expecting a record crowd of over 3,000 people. 3,000 people in 5 days. 3,000 people. That's a record crowd. The big celebrities for this convention: Mel Blanc.
Yes.
Yes. And Sergio Aragonis.
Sure.
Yeah. You know, from
He's a golfer, right?
from Gru.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And a few upstarts shopping their wares to anybody who's interested, trying to cull the favor of the Star Trek and comic book crowds, carrying around with them a certain poster with some concept art.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. Yes. But let's go back a little bit further. Than that,
Okay.
though.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, we're going on a trip.
Yes. 1950. Howard Chaykin was born in New Jersey, of all places. Now, Howard Chaykin went on to become the apprentice to the great Gil Kane. Now, if you remember, if you know anything about comics, Gil Kane is the co-creator of the Green Lantern and the Iron Fist.
Okay.
Now, Howard Chaykin is already cutting his teeth in the world of DC Comics at around 1975, and somebody offers him a job to write and to illustrate a movie adaptation, a comic book adaptation for an upcoming film. Now, this Stanley begrudgingly purchased the rights for the comic book adaptation for this new film. That's actually going to be in the next segment that we'll do. But his lead artist was Howard Chaykin. Now, the next step is 1976. 1,000 copies of a particular item are being shopped around the San Diego Comic Convention. A couple of people from this young upstart movie are trying to get people interested. People like, that young Marcus Hamill. I think that's what his mom calls him.
Yeah.
showing clips of a certain film that you may all remember and recognize. And look at that giant big screen in Hall H. Look at that. Look at that. Look at those comfy
There's
chairs.
43 people there.
I want to see Scotty J-Ro in the hype video, just like hanging out with all the chain smokers back there, passing out information. So this is obviously, as we know, Star Wars. The film came out in 1977. They're promoting this in 1976 to get people interested. And as we all know, and actually I know very well, they did not have action figures ready for when the film dropped. As you can imagine, they didn't have anything in 76 either. So they passed out these really exciting sheets, and we'll see if we can post a copy of this.
Oh, beautiful.
But it's basically a synopsis of the film. Does not call them droids, calls them robots. And this is basically what they had with them, in addition to something called what we call now. Yes, the movie will never make it. It's called the Chaykin,
Chaykin.
or poster number 1. And what I'm going to do is bring up a little bit of a picture right here. Now, what we're going to do is play a little bit of a video, and I'll let you guys talk over it too. I'm going to talk over it as well.
Thank you.
All right, you guys can still hear me, right?
Yeah.
So now we're just kind of going over this. This is it's a stylistic representation of the characters, as the hallmark red lightsabers that you see on certain pre-release items, and actually some of the toys obviously had miscolored lightsabers. But you have one thing I really love about the early the early images from the movie, the early promos, the posters, the prominence of the Y wing. Somebody really had a hard on for Y wings,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at this. Look at that sexy Y wing.
Yeah, the nose guns. Yeah, absolutely. The Chaikin is, if you're into Star Wars movie posters, you know what this is. Howard Chaikin, and I'll let you tie it back to the comics here.
Yeah.
But it's there were only so many, and they were just handed out at people, or just on a stack. Come and grab one.
Yeah.
And they are so rare.
They
find
tried to sell them.
original. They tried to
They
sell
tried to sell them for $1.75.
Oh,
and they couldn't.
They couldn't
Rip
sell
off.
them.
And so I think as the story goes, they got the price down to like a quarter a piece, and then they just kind of gave them away.
Right.
So it was really kind of a bummer, I would imagine. That there's just my mind's going a million miles an hour, but this poster is incredibly rare to find original, because they only had them at the San Diego Comic-Con in '76. They didn't produce them after that, because they did not sell well. They were not popular. They did not go out. So if you see one on eBay, it is 99% sure that it is a phony. So if you want this poster, you're going to spend at least $10,000.
Right. So actually, the most recent, let's see, the most recent purchase, or the purchase that I've tracked, let's see, for like a medium level copy,
Sure.
2,400.
Yeah.
For what I would say is a very fine copy, which is still not perfect, but it's pretty damn good. It's about 4,070. Now again, those are the recent sale prices. But if you look on eBay right now, you're not seeing anything but reprints.
Right.
And it very clear, very easy to distinguish. The most recent, like, highest price sold was about $8,000. Now that was signed by Mark Hamill. I'm not sure if it was signed at the time. I don't know if that matters, but I mean, that's a pretty good chunk of change for just a simple poster, you know?
Yes, 100%. It is. It's very cool because it looks different than Star Wars as we know it. It's a little cartoony. It's comic booky, and that's where we get back into the comic book connection. Now, Jackson, can you post up that picture of Mark Hamill standing in front of that banner?
Sure.
Because there's just a little side story about that banner. That banner was hand painted by Ralph McQuarrie, and there's a little sticker of that little triangle in the center with Luke and the sun behind him, and there's a sticker from the comic from the Comic-Con too, and those are like $400 or $500 stickers now, just for a little guy like that. And to put a little bow on top of that, that banner is the only one in existence, and Steve Sansweet has it at Rancho Obi-Wan down in California.
So it's behind the bulletproof glass. Okay.
It's actually just hanging above a doorway.
That's messed up.
Well, at least that's where I saw it.
Sansweet style.
Yeah.
It's over there.
It's right over there. Yeah.
All right, somebody get the car and pick me up. We're going down there.
It's a road trip.
We're pulling a heist.
So, Jackson, back to you for the tie-in to the comics now. Where did we leave Mr. Chaikin picking up the comic series?
Yeah, so Howard Chaikin and Roy Thomas, his partner in crime, continue to work on Star Wars, the comic, the film adaptation. Howard Chaykin he's actually a funny guy. If you have a chance to Google or you do check his interviews out on YouTube, he's a character. And he basically said he had enough of. He thought it was the art or the topics were a little too juvenile. He didn't like where the potential storylines were headed, so he basically kind of left after the film adaptation and went on to do other things. And he's still considered to be kind of one of the, the premier talents in late 70s and early 80s comic books.
And wait a minute, you're saying somebody had a problem with the dialogue in Star Wars?
I don't get it.
I think he may have had a problem with Jaxxon, actually. And this is the comic number 1, and we're going to talk about this the next segment because the point of the show is to talk about maybe a little bit about the story, but obviously this is a collectibles show, so we're going to talk about collectability. And if you mentioned, Andy, if you're seeing the Shaken on eBay, it's most likely either a reprint or a forgery. There are a lot of different issue number 1s out there, and we're going to talk. That's a whole other 5-minute segment right there. But it's exciting, and actually, if you look at the art, it's definitely they try to do the pattern, but it's definitely a different feel. And I love the fact that they kept that original kind of Art Deco logo style.
Yeah, the skinny.
Yes.
Letters.
Yeah. That kind of the the film crawl logo. It's really sexy.
That's a Macquarie.
Yes.
Inspired.
Yep.
So yeah, he's got his fingers all over Star Wars, and much of what we know to be Star Wars is because of Ralph McQuarrie. And Howard Chaykin got the baton first,
right?
And he ran the first leg. Didn't he do like the first 10 issues, the first 10 comics, and then handed it off to somebody else?
He did the first 6.
The first 6,
yeah. And he was kind of tangentially part of some of the other ones. But and they had an interesting group of artists like Carmine Infantino, Archie Goodwin. This comic was credited for basically saving Marvel in the late 70s. Okay. And it's funny because in the most recent reboot of the Star Wars comics, essentially, if you look at the sales records, they've basically done a very similar thing. I think comics are in pretty good shape, but generally the Star Wars titles, because now there are multiple titles, are usually in the top, at least in the top 5 or 10.
Okay.
And if you have a time machine, grab $1.75.
Yeah.
Okay. Get back there and grab me a copy as well.
You know what? Take $2.50.
Yeah.
Grab me one too.
Yeah. Tip your clerk. Tip your clerk.
$3.50, but you sure.
So that's the Shaken poster. And again, it's not a comic book per se, but he was there, and the folks at Marvel, and from Star Wars Corporation were there to promote both the film and the comic adaptation. They both at the time were, going hand in hand. So it has a lot to do with the comics as they kind of unfolded. And very excited to talk about issue number 1, which I do have a copy of, and I'll be taking it. I won't be taking it out of the slab, but I'll be showing it to you.
Lovely.
Jaxxon, This has been I've just been silent because I'm just learning. So this has been fantastic.
Yeah.
By the way, stellar shirt, my man.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Comics threw up on me. Sorry.
Yeah, we get it.
So Andy, if you had $10,000, you'd get that poster?
I might.
I mean, that's the poster, right? That is the poster.
That's where it started, and I've been on a bit of a poster kick here, but it would. I think I'd get that poster and hopefully have enough left over to get a Revenge of the Jedi poster from 1982 Revenge of the Jedi. So that would be it for me. Jaxxon, thank you so much. This has been a fun little first.
This has been fantastic.
First step into a larger world.
Did you guys notice the button? I made my little button. It's not very clear. I'm going to take it out.
Oh, I did see your button. No, oh, nice one. Look at that. Put it back.
Oh, hey.
Thank you. You got a little Jaxxon button. You know, speaking of that, we're going to take you out with your intro.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
It's so good. Here we
The
go.
intro is the outro.
Here we go,
All right.
buddy.
Oh, by
Great
the way,
job.
wait. I want to say one thing. I sampled.
Jaxxon 15.
Sorry.
Nah,
I
Jaxxon
sampled-
5 is relative.
I
Time.
sampled Sean Keenan, Elias Reyes for that last line in the clip, the Stuff of Legends. He's the guy that did the voice of Jaxxon in The Empire Strikes Back from a certain point of view. So,
Oh, perfect.
yeah, he's an awesome guy. He's a really cool shit. So,
Well,
peace.
everyone pay attention because here it comes again. Thank you so much, Jackson.
Good
Is there anybody named Jackson around?
The stuff of legend.
The audio is pumped in that too.
of legends.
We got a little OPP in the background.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see if we make it. We'll see if we make it through copyright. I think it's messy enough no one will ever know. But that was great.
It'll be fine.
I love it. I love it, Jackson. That was good times.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent
And
times.
you can expect a little segment each week from Jaxxon on the Jaxxon 5. And
We've got a
again,
home for him here on Holochronicles. That's for sure.
even though I did know a little bit about Howard Chaykin, I still learned something in that segment. Josh,
It was 100% learning experience for me.
sweet.
Maybe
That's
110.
awesome. Yeah, maybe, and hopefully you guys listening and watching, you guys learned a little bit as well. So I think we've properly teased our toy review for tonight. It is the big purchase that I made at the toy show, and it also happens to be our Red 5 Designs official toy review. Oh, yeah. These babies are 1/6 scale sideshow collectibles troopers. Now, some of you guys know already that I pre-ordered a Captain Rex hot toy that should be coming out pretty soon now, right, Josh? Is that? I don't know. Pretty soon now. And when I saw these three together, I thought it's fate. Because what better things to complement a Captain Rex on the shelf than some of his very own 501st and clone troopers? So it was meant to be. I'm so excited to have these things. The all white is a Clone Trooper Deluxe. He's facing right now. He comes with a multitude of guns, and I've got him with the little mini Gatlin right there, and he has a backpack that straps on. It's not magnetic. It actually straps on with the arms. The guy that we're seeing right now is a 501st Legion Clone Trooper, and then the one that's right now is the 501st Deluxe Trooper. And what I really enjoy about all three of these is that they come with a phase 1 and a phase 2 helmet, depending on what your fancy is.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You can see them down between their feet there, at least two of them. And then tell us about the one that's coming around right now.
Okay, well that helmet at the very bottom, I don't know why it was in there, but it's a Commander Wolf helmet, and that was just in one of the boxes. So
you think that wasn't part of the box? It shouldn't have been in there?
no, it shouldn't have been in there.
Bonus.
Didn't realize that till I had got it home. I had looked through 2 of the boxes, but not all 3, and it just man, I'm totally pumped because again, up until before this weekend, I had only had one hot toy / sideshow, and it's a Darth Maul, and
Scuba. That one got me.
I get it.
Woo!
We're gonna
Yeah,
we'll
we'll give
give him a
him
little-
that. We'll give him
Go.
that. As a matter of fact, that is the perfect line for a spinner. That's what needs to happen right there. We should bring Pete in just to do it. Here, Andy, you rock this right.
All right. Oh yeah, 1/6 scale sideshow collectible clone troopers. We got deluxe, we got the regular version, we got 501st.
We got a Commander Wolf helmet for no goddamn reason.
Just because. I got a great deal on these bad boys, listed at $300 a piece, down to $200. Oh yeah. Are we getting close?
I'll do that. Yeah, do it. Here, hold on. What? Oh, go ahead.
These clones troopers haven't been spun this much since they were a Camino test tube.
Yeah. Thank you, Scuba Pete, for dropping that sexy line.
What you got under that helmet?
Phase 1, Phase 2, it don't matter because you're going to be phased out when I'm done.
Bad Batch? More like the Rad Bunch. Anyway, oh man, they're so pretty. I love them. They're very cool. So thanks for the deal, dude, up in Puyallup. Appreciate it. And I might call you back and buy that Captain Gree helmet.
Yeah, it's probably going to happen.
Yeah, I just got to wait till my May paycheck. So my May check.
Damn. That was good.
It's good stuff, right?
That's a good score.
It's a really good score.
I like that. That's going to go very nicely with, I mean, that was a quick shot in the arm for your sideshow / Hot Toys collection. I got to keep in front here. It's hard to find something with Andy in the room.
Well, and it's hard to keep up with the mosts. You know what I mean? You're gonna keep up, so or get left behind. Do we have the Ray?
Just website if you want me to. Oh,
yeah,
but you didn't give that. That's all right. Keep talking.
Okay, so there was a Facebook announcement today from Hot Toys that they were coming out with a new Ray Rise of Skywalker sideshow or hot toy, and I got to tell you, we heard from our friend Shannon, friend of the network, friend of the program, Shannon, because if you recall on our May the 4th episode, she was really hoping to see a new Ray lightsaber, like an FX lightsaber, but the yellow version, right, with the yellow blade. And what she did not get on that day, she's sort of getting with this announcement, because the Ray that they announced has 3 lightsabers. So she's got the Skywalker Legacy with the leather strap around the middle of it, repaired, as well as Leia's kind of copper and silver lightsaber that comes in a little blanket to tie him in. And this is sideshow size, or hot toy size, so 1/6 scale.
So yeah, and yeah, is it 3 or is it 4?
It could be that the Kylo saber is confusing me a little bit, but
sorry, that's not the. I tried to find what we were talking about here, but we're not finding the. Oh boy, now we're gonna go. Yeah, we'll just close that out.
But it also comes with the hot toy figure. Also comes with the yellow hilt, the yellow bladed hilt, from the very end where she had the thumb switch and it clicked on. So Shannon didn't get her wish for the actual size FX saber, like the Black Series saber, but with the new Ray hot toy being announced, you're getting a whole bunch of versions of...
Well, and there's more pictures on there, and we'll probably do some more coverage on that later. Just had a quick few shots, but it's in hot toy fashion, it's almost overwhelming the amount of stuff that they're giving in this deluxe. What we know is deluxe.
Yeah, deluxes have a ton of hands and accessories, and I mean you could pose them differently every day for with different things on them for a month or two.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we were talking about is like, it's almost like you can be like, oh, June's going to be, June's gonna be Tatooine burial ground month, where she.
That's where she's.
Well, there's a scene of her.
Yeah,
There's a
on her
shot of her
knees.
as a hot toy on her
Yeah.
knees with the sabers in front of her,
The
and
Skywalker sabers.
so anyway, no matter your thoughts on the sequels, it's a very fantastic toy, and it's part of canon. So if you're a collector, there's some definitely awesome sabers in there that can be on display, and yeah, I'm a fan of that hot toy. I think it's really nice.
It's very nice, and
It's
the
done well.
face looks good too, as it usually does.
Ghost is right. You must not give in and start buying hot toys, or you must give in and start buying hot toys.
Yeah, it's like a Pringles. You can't just get one. I'm finding this to be true. Yeah.
What's up, Graham?
What's up,
Hello
Graham?
there.
And what's up, Jesse? Good to see you, Jesse,
Jesse's
from
in here,
all the
yeah.
way from down under.
Yeah, excellent.
He just got some posters from us.
He did. Thank you for the beautiful, nice, heartwarming video.
Shout out, yeah,
That
appreciate
put
that,
up.
bud.
Thank you.
Sorry it took so long to get there,
Yeah.
but
Well, man, I think that might be our. Is that our show? You got
I think
anything
so.
else for us?
no.
I think that was fun. I'm really proud of you for going to that toy show. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's all tax write-off for the show, right?
Of course it is.
I mean,
'cause,
come on.
we got to find a way. We got to find a way to slow down all these funds somehow.
Just got too much money.
Too much rolling in. Holochronicles.
Just
Those holo credits. Just,
hand over fist.
calamari flan. Yeah, we just eat them. All right. Well, thank you. This has been Holochronicles, the Couch Edition. Stay tuned for another rendition of the set as we turn things around in our room. That's what you're seeing right now. We kind of tore Andy's spot out,
Transition.
transitioning.
Tearing out a new one.
Well, it's a collector's quandary, right? We're gonna put some of my collection down behind us, and that TV won't exist, and yada
speaking
yada.
of the TV,
Oh, it did. It
fell
went,
asleep.
into screensaver mode. Damn it. Hold on.
you said okay.
Oh, now we're just going to start it. There
right.
we go.
Is
I
it
don't
on
know.
mute?
No, who knows? It doesn't really matter.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey,
Anyway.
hey, quick bad batch. I got two questions for you, Josh. All right. Put a poll up. Do you think all, some, or none of the Bad Batch are going to make it through the end of the season?
Some.
Okay.
Well, okay, hold on. That's a dumb answer because really, none. Right?
Maybe. We don't know.
I'm just going to keep it rolling in the background.
And I'm not including Omega.
We don't know what's going on with Omega except for we had a Palpatine connection I saw, which was interesting. Those hand positions. So are we talking like Palpatine rolls into Camino and he's like, I want a clone.
Well,
Not a girl.
and
then he's like, and then boom,
the idea
Rey.
with that is that Palpatine always has layers to what he shows and tells.
Right.
So when he's the source behind the clone army, it on its face is to get the army, and even back into Legends, he's all about cloning himself, cloning force sensitive creatures, and even now in canon through the Mandalorian, we know this to be true, and through the sequels, he's trying to clone force sensitive versions of himself or beings to imbue himself into.
I guess the bigger question is, do you want more Palpatine lore? I feel like, the sequels gave us that lore. Do you think it's wanted or necessary?
I don't think it's either. I just think if they do it, it fits because it's in the timeline.
Okay.
And Omega could be, and
I'm not saying I'm against Palpatine lore. I'm just asking the
So
question.
I mean, it's an idea out there. Some are kind of, man, I hope not, or that would be cool. Wherever you fall in that. But
who does Omega turn into, or does she even make it?
well, the connection also too is the blonde hair that's kind of combed back.
Wispy,
Yeah.
windswept Palpatine,
and-
Palp on top of a
And
on
how
top
she
of
kind
a
of holds her hands
skyscraper.
kind of folded, like Palpatine does in the animated stuff. He's very proper, and she seems to be
but that
very
New Zealand
stately.
accent.
Well, I mean, whatever the accent is
I thought they were
whatever the
trying to
accent-
tie that back to the clones, tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, and that is cool too. But the question I've always wondered is that do you need male and female to clone, or do you just need one genetic
Well,
strain?
Andy, son,
Can
just have a seat.
All right,
Yeah.
take
You see,
walk
when
me through it.
when a trooper, when a
you-
bounty hunter, yeah,
I don't
know.
Yeah, where do we go with
Do you
this?
know where a bee comes from? How do you think about trees? I can't even talk at this point. Anyway, so when cloning happens, yeah.
Yeah, so
I
have more
agree
questions
with
than
this.
answers.
She's an altered clone. I mean, I feel like she's a clone that they're kind of throwing the female side of the clones in there. And your question is totally valid. Like, is that something that's necessary? So do we need like really solid clone embryos to make the clones?
Right.
And of course, they're just for some reason just pumping out a bunch of dudes for the war.
Right.
But maybe there was a whole different faction of female clones that's on another facility.
Yeah, you never know.
Who knows?
The whole second episode, spoiler alert here, I think was made to deliver the line that the Kaminoans don't make things without a purpose.
Kaminoan?
Yeah,
The
Camino.
Kaminoans.
No, they said Kaminoans. That's how
I
they
know. I
pronounced
just
it.
okay. Sorry, Jesus.
I'm sorry. I didn't know. I thought you were
Kaminoan.
wondering.
I was
trying to-
teasing you. It's
Hey.
always a tease.
Okay.
Especially after a very special Holochronicles. Oh, Scuba's on it tonight. Scuba wins.
What do you say?
He said a very special Holochronicles in quotations after our whole birds and the bounty hunters
it's like-
combo we just had.
Like, dear God, it's me, the Holochronicles. Do you know what that book? Dear God, it's me, Margaret.
no, but
You have daughters and you don't know that? All right.
thank God.
All right, somebody post the link for Josh. Anyway, that was just some things that, maybe I heard and, it was but Omega has a purpose. She may not know it yet. The Bad Batch doesn't know it yet. And that's what part of the season is going to unravel is why was she made? What purpose does she have? Because they teased that she has a purpose. And I personally think it's she's force sensitive.
Omega is going to make it a series that's not just a bunch of mutant clones running around busting ass. Now it's
Right. It's not 4 men and a little lady.
Yeah, now it's going to be like they're going to protect her. She's going to have a greater purpose. It's a Grogu scenario. Away we go. Luke will come get her, and it'll just be like shit. Now we have to watch it. Is there another season?
Yeah. I don't know.
Do we even want to watch it?
I don't know.
I don't know. All right. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, the podcasting couch. Yeah, you guys get it. We hopefully won't be here next week.
Not on this couch.
There's been 3 shoulder pats from Andy and 1 thigh grab from Josh. So just want you to know, the couch is working, folks.
It's just an intimate
It really
setting.
is. It really is. Finally we get to get out of our houses and
All right. Before we go, if you would like one of our Holochronicle hats, here's what you can do. I said I teased the giveaway
did
on
tease the
Twitter.
giveaway.
If you'd like a hat, and we have flat bill and we have curved bill, here's what I want you to do. As soon as this show is over on YouTube, go in, like it, and leave a comment about what you think Omega's purpose is. Okay?
Ooh.
What do you think Omega's purpose is? And then hashtag curved bill or flat bill so we know what to get you. Got it? I know that was at the very end.
You had to stick around.
You had to stick around for that.
But thank you so much. Thanks for joining Holochronicles on the couch.
You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, obviously on YouTube and audio platforms if that's where you're finding us right now.
And thank you so much to Jaxxon for the Jaxxon 5 ish. That was awesome. It was great. All right, Andy.
Go play with your toys.